Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another airport update for the Portsmouth, Southern Ohio International Airport. This one is for July of 2025. Happy 4th of July to all my American followers. Unfortunately, due to how busy I was yesterday on the actual 4th, I'm filming this on the 5th of July. But I still wanted to wish everybody happy Independence Day, as it is one of my personal favorite holidays of the year, and as I'm sure it's just as much as a favorite to a lot of other people, especially some of my more patriotic followers. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, got some special additions to this update, which I will go into as I get to them. But without any further rambling, that's a long enough intro. Let's go ahead and hop into it. We'll start with the more boring side of things, if you want to say it. We'll start over at Terminal B, Gate B5 over here, where we have this Spirit Airbus A320CO, the older A320 family of aircraft type. This plane is here. Man, that was a lot of words to say very little. Spirit Airbus A320 taking on some luggage and some catering. This aircraft arrived in from Fort Myers, Florida, and will be heading back to RSW after the turnaround. Next door at Gate B4, we have a brand new flight for the update, inspired partially by a flight I just recently took this past Wednesday. This flight will be operating twice daily to Washington, D.C.A. Reagan National Airport. This aircraft, of course, being a Delta Connection CRJ 900 operated by Endeavor Air. This flight just started recently and is expected to service PTS year-round on the Washington route. Designed and implemented specifically to challenge American and American Eagle service to Washington National and the greater Washington, D.C. area. But very happy to have that flight in, especially on the same aircraft type that I literally just flew on to Reagan. So I have Gulf Shores on Allegiant, Seattle on Alaska, and now DCA on Delta. I didn't fly Alaska to Seattle. I flew Delta to Seattle. But other than that, I think you can start to see a pattern as once I take a day trip, I implement the route I flew on into my airport. But it's just a little neat thing I've started to do to kind of commemorate my recent journeys. But with that rambling aside, we'll go over to Gate B3, where we have this Delta Airbus A319. This is operating the Atlanta rotation today. Equipment swap from the typical 717 service. As I explained in the last update, going on for the summer months, ATL will actually mostly be on the 737 900 and 800 family. But this evening we have A319 because it is Saturday as I'm filming this, and thus I'm having kind of a Saturday evening traffic pattern for this update. And traffic volumes is typically less for PTS on Saturdays, hence the smaller aircraft type on this rotation. But going on from Gate B3, we'll actually hop over to the entrance to Signature, where we have the local Saab 340 taxiing out. This aircraft will be departing to Charleston, South Carolina, and it unknown return time or date at this time. Going over to the actual Signature ramp, which is rather quiet for the evening, actually correlates to the Signature I actually work at down at Cincinnati's Lincoln Airport. Saturdays tend to be our slowest day for whatever reason. Anyway, we have this Phenom 300. This aircraft arrived from Smyrna, Tennessee, and this aircraft will be picking up some passengers and making a flight out to Brunswick, Georgia. Next door on the hill portion, as the line guys call it, the hill portion of the Signature ramp, we have this very rare Everett's Air Cargo DC-9. This aircraft arrived in from Harlingen, Texas, and is dropping off some auto parts, and it will be making a repositioning flight up to Pontiac, Michigan after it is fueled and turned around. And on the back half of the signature ramp, on the fence line, we have this Gulfstream G500. This aircraft arrived in from the Spirit of St. Louis Airport, SUS. And this aircraft will be making a flight off to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina after the turn. And we'll hop back over here to the Southwest gates at gate B2. We have the Southwest 737-700 in the, I keep calling it the new livery, just shows my age. 737-700 aircraft this evening is operating the Nashville BNA rotation. This flight is actually slightly delayed due to thunderstorms in the Tennessee region, but not by all that much. Bags are currently being loaded and the aircraft will be pushed back for the flight to Nashville. And because it's July and yesterday was the 4th of July, we have the wonderful, awesome, independent, freedom, bald eagles crying F-22 Raptors soaring above Southwest Airlines 737-800 in the Freedom 1 aircraft today, operating the Baltimore rotation. Just arrived in from BWI about 20 minutes ago and is currently receiving luggage for the return flight to Baltimore. Gate A1, moving over to Terminal A, we have this Aeromexico Connect Embraer 190 in the beautiful new livery of Aeromexico. This aircraft arrived in this evening from the once-a-week Mexico City route, and this aircraft will depart closer towards midnight back to Mexico City. And at gate A2, we have another red, white, and blue Freedom roaring liveried airplane, this Alaska 737-800 MAX, in the Honoring Those Who Serve paint job. This aircraft arrived in from none other than Seattle, Washington, Seattle, Tacoma, and this aircraft will be making the return flight to Seattle as of right now, as it is being pushed back from the gate for its departure to SeaTac. Going on from Alaska, we go over to an American Airbus A320. This aircraft is currently holding for the Alaska to be pushed out of the gate, and it will move into the Alaska's former gate A2 as it is completely cleared out of the American Airbus A320's way. This aircraft arrived in on a new route today. I mentioned some new American routes in the last update that would be coming, and I do have them scheduled now. This aircraft arrived in from Tampa, Florida on the new once-a-day rotation. This route will be operated on the A320 and A319 this evening, it being on the A320. And it will be departing back to Tampa once it is turned around. And moving on to gate A3, we have another new American route that I wanted to showcase in the update. If I can get the camera steady, there we go. We have this American Eagle CRJ 700, of course operated by PSA. This aircraft arrived in on the daily from St. Louis STL on the second half of that rotation. So the St. Louis flights for the day have completed, and now this aircraft will be departing on the new once a daily seasonal route to Hilton Head, South Carolina, HXD. This route will be serviced on the CRJ 700 with an occasional swap to the Embraer 170. And moving next door, we're just going to go ahead and throw in all the new routes while I have them. We have this American CRJ 700, once again operated by PSA. This aircraft arrived in from Norfolk, Virginia, and will be making a return to Norfolk. This aircraft, or this route rather, will once again be seasonal, and like Hilton Head, will only operate through November. So catch that one while you can. Moving next door, we'll go ahead and put this on another new route. We have this American Airbus A321 in the phenomenal America West Heritage livery. This aircraft arrived in from... This is the new San Diego service. So this service will be on the A321 and 737 MAX. And today, of course, it was on the A321. This aircraft arrived in from San Diego. And it won't be returning to San Diego, however. So the flight to San Diego leaves right around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you have the return land right around 6, and then the return flight won't be returning to San Diego. Rather, it'll be going on to Dallas DFW, operating the evening Dallas departure. One of two evening Dallas departures, rather. And we'll go into the last gate here at Terminal A, which is occupied by this American Airlines 737 MAX 8. This aircraft is operating the new flight to Bozeman, Montana, or Bozeman, however you want to pronounce that, on the once-a-day round trip. And this aircraft, like the America West 321, has completed the rotation, actually, and it will now be heading back on a, well, it'll actually be heading back out west, but on the evening rotation from Los Angeles LAX, a new route that was implemented in the last update, but went ahead and featured it in this one as well. So in total, while I have everybody here at Terminal A, the new American routes are as follows, in addition to what already existed. We've got Tampa once a day on the A320 and the A319, Oklahoma City twice daily, Monday through Friday, on the Embraer 170 and Airbus A319. You got Bozeman, Montana, one time a day, Monday through Friday, on the 737 MAX and A319. You've got Hilton Head Island once daily until November on the CRJ 700 and Embraer 170. Norfolk, Virginia once a day through November, Monday through Friday, on the CRJ 700. Nantucket, Massachusetts, 4 times a week until November, another seasonal one on the CRJ 700. And last but not least, the non-seasonal one here, Orlando MCO, will be 2 times daily on the A319 and A320. Now, those, of course, are in addition to all the other American routes, which I don't feel like I need to list. You've seen enough of these updates by now to where you should get an idea of where they fly to out here. And yeah, but speaking of which, before we get to the big part of this update, we'll go ahead and go over to 2 aircraft in line for departure. We have this American Eagle Embraer 170. This aircraft is actually operating the flight to Oklahoma City on this, the second one, the evening one. And of course, that's in the old American Eagle colors, operated by Envoy Air. Very awesome aircraft right there. And over here, we have an American Eagle ERJ 145, operating, of course, to and from Philadelphia this evening. Unfortunately, these are dying off still, and American Eagle has, for the most part, cut them from PTS, with the exception of the Philadelphia routes. So with that aside, we'll go over to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that is right. I have an air show on the layout currently. Now, this is something, if anybody has done it before, I haven't seen it, but it's something that, as I've built up my military aircraft collection over the years, I've always wanted to do, just never really had the opportunity to. But you know what, now we finally do. So a lot of these don't have routes per se, but I'll go over each one individually here. Have lots of military and heavy equipment, emergency vehicles like you typically find at your normal air show everywhere. But we'll start over here where we have this former Northeast Airlines Curtiss C-46 Commando, just on static display. as well as a FedEx feeder ATR 72, once again on static display as a FedEx thing. They've got a little private Piper PA-28 there. And taking on fuel over here as they performed a demo flight earlier in the day. Now they need to be gassed up for the second part of the show tomorrow on Sunday. We have the F-22 Raptor demo team, of course, and these Raptors are out of Langley, Virginia. Very awesome to have these. It's crazy that Portsmouth got the F-22 demo team in 2025, but the Dayton Air Show couldn't even get a military jet demo. Anyway, I just had to throw a little shade there. But we have the U.S. Army National Guard CH-47 Chinook arrived in from Akron, Ohio earlier today, and it's got some MRAPs and armored vehicles next door. Got a U.S. Air Force V-22 Osprey. This aircraft arrived, this aircraft rather, is out of Hurlburt Field down there near Destin, Florida. And we've got a B-1B Lancer out of Dyess Air Force Base in Texas. A U-2 Dragon Lady, a U-2 spy plane. This aircraft being out of... Why am I forgetting the name of forgetting the name of the base they're out of in California? But I'll just go ahead and say this one came from Edwards Air Force Base out there in California. And there we have a United States Navy DC-4. Pardon me for forgetting the technical military designation for the DC-4 right now. Just setting all of this up alone kind of wiped my brain, especially placing all these little cones. Y'all, once you get these little grounds people and cones for your airport updates, I mean, take your setup time and multiply it by at least 2, just saying. I mean, they look great in the end, but it makes it all the more tedious, especially with how small they are. But with that aside, moving on, next we have this B-29 Super Fortress, the Wichita Witch, one of, in this lore, 3 flyable B-29s in the world, alongside, of course, Doc and Fifi. And then we have on static display this American Eagle operated by Air Appalachia -8100, just offering up tours and experiences to people on the ground here. And we have 2 aircraft left. Yep, 2 aircraft left. This Minot Air Force Base Boeing B-52 Stratofortress arrived in from Minot, North Dakota, of course. And last aircraft on the field for the update, we have this Wright-Patterson Air Force Base C-17 Globemaster, of course, arrived in from Wright-Pat, and is just on static display for the air show. And not that you asked, but I figured I'd throw it in here. My fictional nickname for the said air show is indeed Thunder over Portsmouth. And it kind of operates like Thunder over Louisville, where the actual show center is over the downtown Portsmouth riverfront down there on the Ohio River, while the static display action is over here at Portsmouth International Airport, whereas in Louisville, it's SDF, Louisville International Airport. You get what I'm saying, I hope. But anyway, y'all, that'll do it for this month's update for PTS. I really hope you enjoyed some of the patriotic aircraft on the layout, as well as the air show over here on what would normally be the cargo stands. Took a lot of effort and thinking to put into getting all of these aircraft in this small space and setting up all the cones and the GSE and whatnot. And even the parking lot over here by the air traffic control tower took a little bit of work. But with all that being said, y'all, of course, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video very much. Without y'all, I wouldn't be doing it, or at least with as much passion and dedication would I be doing it. But with all that being said, I will see you all in the next airport update. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And of course, once again, to my American followers, happy 4th of July. I'll see y'all next time.